evening. Welcome to the program. I'm your host, Stephen Leader. I am thrilled to have with me and Anders Ponders, and I actually have a whole ton of questions I was going to ask him, but Anders is a wonderful musician, so I'm just going to let him have at it. Anders, please go ahead, play us something.
All right. There were two sisters came walking down the stream, oh, the wind and rain. One behind pushed the other one in, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Johnny gave the youngest a gay gold ring, oh, the wind and rain. Didn't give the oldest one anything, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Pushed her into the river to drown, oh, the wind and rain. Watched her as she floated down, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Floated till she came to a miller's pond, oh, the wind and rain. Mama, oh, father, there swims a swan, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. The miller pushed her out with a fishing hook, oh, the wind and rain. That fair maid from the brook, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he left her on the banks to dry, oh, the wind and rain. Fiddle and fool came passing by, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out of the woods came a fiddler fair, oh, the wind and rain. Took 3 strands of her long yellow hair, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long yellow hair, oh, the wind and rain. Made a fiddle bow of her long yellow hair, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Fiddle pegs of her long finger bones, oh, the wind and rain. Made fiddle pegs of her long finger bones, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a little fiddle of her breastbone, oh, the wind and rain. The sound came out of heart of stone, crying, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And the only tune that the fiddle would play was, oh, the wind and rain. Only tune that the fiddle would play was, oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
Well, thank you very much. That was brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Now, what are you playing?
I am playing a viola, which is different than its cousin, the violin, because it's a bit larger and it's got a 5th lower string, which is the C, and it's lacking the E string. And you can play it just like a fiddle, but it's not very popular because it's kind of more difficult. The strings are much wider, and you can't play all the double stops as well. So
it's not a very easy instrument to play. How did you learn to play it then?
Well, my mother started me out on the violin when I was 3 years old. My 2 older brothers were playing classical instruments, and I was jealous. So I begged her to start me off, and she taped a ruler to a margarine box just to get me the feel how it works. And so I played until about 12 when I didn't make it through this audition in this youth choir or this youth symphony that I was in, and I got real discouraged, so I picked up the guitar and piano and started singing. And then I didn't get back to a classical instrument until I was about 22, and my mom just had an extra viola, and it was she just gave it to me on the condition that I wouldn't sell it. And thank goodness I didn't, even though I've definitely been in a situation where I might have needed to. So yeah.
It's a great instrument, actually. Now, you've come to San Francisco, and why? What brought you here? What makes San Francisco special?
Well, I never really expected to end up in San Francisco. I'm from Minnesota, and I left for Northern California to do some organic farming. I was on a bunch of different organic farms with the WWOOFing program, which is Worldwide Opportunities in Organic Farming, and it's just a labor for room and board exchange, basically. And after a bunch of sort of disappointing situations, I ended up kind of homeless in Mendocino County, Mendocino itself, actually, and I had these instruments and just that was the only way for me to make an income, and I was
didn't
actually
sell the instruments.
yeah, rather
like
than
you promised
selling
your
the
mother.
instruments, right. And I was actually doing really well in Mendocino County with all the tourists and folk music enthusiasts, and that's actually where I started to cover all these old country, old-timey bluegrass songs.
Yeah, tell me about that kind of music that you're playing now.
Yeah, I ran into this dulcimer songbook, which dulcimer is an instrument that you play on your lap with sort of like a lap steel slide.
Okay.
But this songbook just had the most awesome songs that were just hundreds of years old and about the darkest, most morbid, murderous, tragic, epic ghost stories that you could possibly imagine. And I fell in love with that. And I also made some friends with people like Deadheads, and
That's Grateful Dead, I assume.
yeah, right. And they showed me some of Jerry Garcia's stuff, and that really resonated with me too. He wasn't on my radar at all until very recently. Not that I'm like a super Deadhead now, but it was something that I'd never heard before.
I don't see any tie-dye
Yeah.
on you, so I assume
Yeah.
you're correct. Yeah.
So, but that was that last song that I played is a song that a lot of Grateful Dead fans would know.
So is that actually a Grateful Dead song that you played, or is it a traditional English or Western European song? I'm not very familiar with what...
I believe that it's an English song. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to track these songs down because they're so old that they're not really even attributed to any one author. And they have so many different verses that you can play and sing them however you want, which is something that appeals to me a lot.
Why don't you play for us something else?
All right. Sounds good. Let's do the guitar.
Let's do the guitar indeed. And while we're discussing it, Anders, excuse me. I'm mispronouncing your name, aren't I?
Anders, yeah.
Which is why you have... why your stage name...
Why my stage name is Anders Ponders. I mean, my mother, who taught me violin, always used to call me that, but I retook that. I became Anders Ponders because of this very situation. And still people say Anders Ponders. And it would be Anders Panders. And I try not to pander, but this is a song that's covered many, many times over, and I love it. I think it's one of the best songs ever. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love is how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. Well, it's not a cry that you hear at night, it's not somebody who's seen the light, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw him bathing on the roof, his beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. We tied you to a kitchen chair and broke your throne and cut your hair, and from your lips he drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before, I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew ya. Well, I've seen your flag on the marble arch, but love is not a victory march, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. There was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, yeah. Remember when I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Thank you. That was brilliant. A little S&M. Was he someone was being tied to a kitchen chair?
Yeah, I mean that's usually a female dom, I guess, doing that to a man. But I changed the pronouns so that it's a gay relationship, like I have for a lot of different songs. It's a little more fun to do it in the Castro that way.
Is that where you actually perform? Where can people find you around town?
Yeah, the best way to find me is just to listen for the strains of my viola. It's somewhere in the Castro along 18th. Usually I'm in front of like Phil's or Bank of America or Twin Peaks. You know, there's that little square on Market and Church, or on Castro, and I like to play there with all the naked guys and homeless people, and it's fun.
You actually mentioned the homeless people, and when I first met you, you had this little sheet that talks about yourself. I'm not going to put your phone number up there, but
it's all crumpled and
it's all crumpled. I know, much
worn.
treasured, much treasured. And you say that you'd like to represent the less visible portion of the gay community. Tell me about that.
Well,
'cause
yeah, we're not all extremely wealthy, conspicuous consumers, and people that only wear Gucci and Armani and stuff. Like, I like the radical fairies that I've met in this town so far. My guitar got stolen out of my car. I left it overnight in Soma, which was a totally bad idea on my part, but I guess this is only one way to learn these lessons. But I reached out to the radical fairies, and one of them just was my total fairy godmother and gave me their guitar out of the kindness of their hearts. And so that sort of gave me a good impression of them, and I've been hanging out with them ever since, and they seem like very alternative attituded people, and I like that. Especially since my politics are pretty radical, and not even progressive would describe my politics. So,
well, that begs the question: what are your politics then? And we do have a mayoral election coming up. So, what would you tell the mayor of San Francisco if you? Yeah.
I don't know if I would participate in an election because I feel like what happened. I cried when Obama was elected, and then so much, he's disappointed me so much that, I feel like a fool for it, and I don't really think that anything's going to be accomplished with either the Democrats or Republicans, and I feel like we're going into very, very unstable, uncertain times that need huge radical changes in order for any real change to be affected. Talking about fundamental economic changes.
Well, let's return to your music.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that before we get overly involved in politics.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about your DVD, which is Nodes of Overtones.
Yeah, it's a CD. Yeah.
Sorry, CD.
Yeah.
I got my
it's all right.
formats wrong. And you released this in 2009.
In late 2009 in Minneapolis.
It's got some phenomenal work on it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it got great reviews when it came out, so I'm pretty proud of it.
And it's got all kinds of different genres of music on it in some respects. You've got a very complicated level of production on it.
Yeah.
And tell me more about what thoughts, what was the process in creating this album?
Well, I took it to an ex-boyfriend of mine, actually, who had an electronica project, and he sort of took all these tunes that I had made on my acoustic instrument, and we loaded them up onto the computer, put like sampled beats and loops on it. I wrote it with a loop pedal, so I was able to create, first a melody and then all these soaring harmonies.
I want to interrupt you because we've actually got just about 3 minutes left. Can you knock out a quick song?
A quick song?
Can you do it, or otherwise can you play us out with something?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot. But
yeah, find me on the street and buy the CD. It's a great thing.
Okay, yeah, the CD is Nodes of Overtones, and it is available also on MySpace, correct? You can get it from MySpace?
Yeah, you can listen to a few tracks on MySpace, but it was on iTunes. It's not anymore.
Okay. But we can find you, and then we can buy the CD.
Yeah, you'll have to find me, or you can email me at the email address that you see on the screen, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, Anders, play us out.
Wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops. High above the chimney tops is where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to die. Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. Some friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops. High above the chimney tops is where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I?
Thank you very much indeed, Anders, and thank you, Ken, for doing the extra camera work. Really, really appreciate it. It was a brilliant show.